D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished The Bad Batch season 2, episode 4. It was called Faster. And I have to admit, I did like this episode, but I feel like with The Bad Batch, it's kind of like one of those things where this show, a lot of people don't watch, and it's good. Like, I did like this episode, but it was kind of like not as thrilling or as exciting as last episode, or at least I felt so. Like, it was good, but I just felt like last episode, it was very combat-y, but this one was, racing, which, speaking of that, I just want to say, like, I was on a podcast this past Sunday called Tim's Talk, and I'll leave in a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out. Tim is great. He always does these live streams and everything, yeah, it's great. You go check out his channel and everything. It's super fun. But I had just basically, because I said that the episode was called Faster, that I had just thrown out this thing about pod racing. Here's the clip. I don't know, man. I don't know. It'll then be doing a job of stealing something, but what it is, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know what? I think it's gonna be a pod race. They're gonna be in a pod race where they're gonna have to pod race themselves somewhere to get something.
This is pod.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I'm not quite sure, but I'm gonna say that. So I feel like I was like at least half right, maybe 70% right. Because even though they weren't pod racing, it was very like pod racing adjacent. They didn't have the little engines on the front and everything, but I kind of feel like I was a tiny bit right, just a little bit. I'm taking credit for it. I don't care if you agree with me or not. And if you don't agree with me, suck it. So like I said before, this episode, it had Tech, and he's my favorite out of the Bad Batch. But I just really I don't know. I feel like when it comes to the Bad Batch, it's like you need to hit the ground running, and then you need to have banger after banger, and then you can have episodes like this, which was just a fill-in episode, and which I understand. You got to make some of those, but I'm all like, we're only on episode 4, you guys. I think maybe you guys should wait, just like for a hot minute, because that was my problem with Bad Batch season 1, is that the first half of the season really, in my opinion, wasn't that great. If you go back and watch my reviews of that first season, I just really didn't feel like it got action until after around halfway through. So I feel like the same thing about this one. I'm like, you got to have the start be super polished and super awesome, action packed, and then towards the, and then in the middle, have maybe some fill in episodes. Yeah, that's my story on that. So now that I got all my little thoughts out of the way, I want to do this breakdown and everything with you guys. I will try not to take up too much of your time, but I want to do this breakdown. But before I get to this breakdown, I just want to say that if you guys like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, and small channels like mine, we just keep getting shoved to the back of the line, you guys, and it's happening more and more with YouTube every day. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that I got that out of the way, let's go through this breakdown, you guys. So it starts on, what is the name of this planet / this city? I don't even remember. I like it though. It's cool looking. It kind of reminds me like an Agrabah, but like a high-tech Agrabah, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, okay, so it's here, and there some ships flying around. This guy's all eating a piece of fruit. Delicious. I'm hungry. And they're playing this game. I don't remember what this is called, but this chess game with monsters. And he's like, "Oh, I've got you this time." And then Omega, being the fabulous person that she is, she defeats him. She's like, "Now you owe me 2 bushels of whatever Gavi fruit." And I'm all like, "Oh, get out of here. Nobody likes you." I do not like Omega. Listen, if you like Omega, by all means, have at it. Have at Omega. That sounds weird. But I just do not like this character at all. Like, I just don't like her. I find her annoying. I find her, useless. I just don't like her. Okay. And I don't think anything in the subsequent future is going to change my mind on that. But we'll see. We'll see. I do not want her to show up in live action, but I have a feeling she will one of these days. And they'll be like, everybody will be like, oh my God, Omega. And I'll be like, oh my God, Omega. Anyways, okay. Moving on. So then Sid shows up and she's like, hey, grab your stuff. We're getting out of here. Come on. And they do. They do. They listen to her. And they fly to this planet. I don't remember what it's called. But as you can see, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. And so she's walking around. She's all like, this place is pretty rough. It's always good to... Oh, look, a Twi'lek. It's always good to have some bodyguards with you. And I'm all like, look at you. Yay. So then it's racing. There's racing. Now as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, it's pod racing. I called it. I'm so good and everything. I'm sitting here tooting my own horn, and it's not exactly pod racing. Like, it's these little pods, and you can shoot, blasters and stuff like that. But it looks super fun. There are some downsides to it. And she's like, that's Teo. That's my new driver and everything. And she's like, he's got to make me big money. And I'm all like, look at you, lizard face. So then she goes down there and Teo pops out and it's this android. Now, listen, this droid was, I have to tell you guys right now, Teo was the standout to me. I enjoyed this robot. He was I personally thought he was funny, and I hope to see him again because he reminded me of the droid from the Clone Wars. Was it the Clone Wars or was it Bad Batch? I think maybe it was Bad Batch where they're out like when order. I can't remember. But the little droid, it's in the bar now. I can't remember what it's called. It doesn't even matter. Anyways. So he's like, oh, what, you trying to tell Teo what to do? Because Teo does his own thing. He's like, I'm a honey badger. I'm Teo badger or whatever. I liked him a lot. He was super funny. I can't remember everything, his little quips and stuff, but he made me laugh. So then they're like, we adjust it to make it better or whatever. And they add the guns on. And then this guy shows up. I don't remember his name either, but I have a feeling he's going to pop up again. And I don't like his look. I don't like his face. I don't like his height. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like him. I just don't like him. So he's all like, hey, Sid, I saw you're back with the new driver. And she's like, yeah, and I'm going to make all the monies and everything. He's like, you brought a new crew and everything. And she's all like, how about we make, he's like, and this guy's all like, mata buta. And I'm like, oh, get out of here with your horns. And then he's like, Tea's going to win. Tea's awesome. And so he's like, want to make a little bet. And she's like, yeah, I'll make a bet. We're going to win. And she's like, come on, guys, Teo. So then the race goes on. And this guy, Teo's doing well. He's like in second place. And she's like, Teo's going to pull it out. Oh, hold on. I want to show you this one. So then this driver, let me just play this. So then this driver goes out and then he starts shooting and shoots into the crowd. Now, then they turn around and this guy's been shot. And they're like, we're not responsible for it. And I'm like, why do you not have shields to protect the people watching your race? Like, what? I'm like, that's insane. It was pretty, I laughed a little bit. Like I chuckled and they're all like, woo. And I'm all like, I would have left. If I hadn't gotten shot and that would have happened, I'd have been like, we're leaving. I was like, I'm not playing games with this game. So long story short, they're going up to it. So see this tunnel's been blocked off. Okay. The left tunnel. And then she's all like, the left tunnel it's a death trap. And because Omega's like, why don't you go for the left tunnel? And I'm all like, oh, the left tunnel is going to play a big part, foreshadowing. So then they get in this tunnel and she's all like, Teo's going to win. He could pull it out. And I'm all like, not going to happen, honey. That's not what the show is about. So he's like, get him in the clamper or something like the chomper or something like crap like that. I don't remember what he says. I don't know the lingo of these people. What do you mean these people? Oh, calm down. So then Teo's all like, he's trying to, they grab him with this little hook right here. And then this one in front then puts out this little drill thing right here and drills his pod. He's like, and everything. And then Teo's all like, oh, crap, I can't do it. And then the pod goes belly up and they win. So she loses. And they find Teo. And she's all like, I'll give you the credits. I'm good for it. And he's like, that's not how this works, Sid. And she's like, this is where you guys come in. And they're ready to throw down. Like grandma's ready to throw down. And she's like, wait. Of course, Omega stepping in, like, yo, honey, mind your business. Okay. The adults are talking. Maybe you need to go sit at the kids' table for a second. But she's all like, we have one more race in us. If you win, we give you double. And if we win, we get Sid. And she gets all touchy-feely here. She's all like, here, hold on. You do that for me, kid. And I'm all like, yeah, I don't trust your lizard face. And he's like, what are you doing? We don't have the pod or whatever and everything. And so he's like, but we're taking Sid with us. So they rebuild, they put him back together. And this part made me laugh like out loud because he goes, something. He goes, where are my arms and legs? And he starts to like move, like shuffle away. That made me laugh. I thought that was funny. I don't know who's voicing Teo. I'll look it up later. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but whoever it is, they made me laugh, and I hope they stick around. So then he's like, oh, and he's like, that's not how you put in my servos or whatever. And he just gives him a look like, hey, dude, do you want to put yourself together? Good luck. I like Tech. Tech is my favorite Bad Batch member. My favorite clone of this group. I don't know about all the other clones. They all look the same. So I'll just say Rex is my favorite. So anyways, so he builds his like arm or whatever, and they get him together. So then he's all like, I can't remember what he says to Sid here. But she's like, we're going to win or some crap like that. I don't remember what he says. It really doesn't matter. So Sid right here is talking. And I can't remember. He's like, Sid's going to get it done or some crap like that. And he's all like, racing is not about, whatever. It's not about defense. It's about offense. And as he's saying this, a pod like whips past. Oh, hold on. Whips past and just takes him out. And they're like, and this guy is just, hold on. This guy is just nonchalant. He's like, hey, it happens. And then they're like, Teo. And he gets up and he's like, oh, he goes, before he dies, this little robot, he's like, I regret nothing. And I was like, that's funny. Doo-doo-doo. So he goes, it doesn't look like you have a racer. And she's like, oh, here he goes. And he's like, I'm regretting nothing. And then she's like, Teo. And he's like, doesn't look like you can race and everything. She's like, and then Tech steps in. He's like, I'm going to race. And so he gets in the little pod racer. They go through and they show all these pod racers. There's a lot of droids. Like this guy's a droid. He's a droid. This guy's a droid, but he has a C-3PO body, a protocol droid body. And then this protocol droid. And then they go over to this protocol droid. I'm like, are protocol droids really that great at racing at anything? I'm like, their arms are very like, I'm all like, how does he touch the buttons and grab the controls? What do I know? So, and they're like, Tech. They're like, do you guys got anything? Like, it's Tech. There's Twi'lek. I like Twi'leks. They're my favorite. So then they start the race. So they're racing, and he's sitting back because he's like, it's called strategy. Oh, and he's all like, he goes, they're like, your shields are overheating. So he then, so they're racing, and fighters are getting taken out. He's like, bring me up the schematics of the left tunnel, and he's all like, I need to go faster. So hold on, I need to show this. So he drops off the weapons portion of his pod, his little pod. And so he's like, it'll make me faster. So then he goes through the tunnels and he's getting up to the left tunnel. And they're all like, it's not finished. So it's you have to do a jump kind of thing. And he's all like, well, I might be able to make it if I'm going faster. And I'm all like, oh, that's what it's called. It's called faster because you need to make this tunnel, which is fine. Apologies, I need the caffeine. And so he goes through the tunnel, and that dude follows him, right? And it's basically like the tunnel is like if you look here, like this bottom portion is not finished. So he goes around, he like curves up, and then he like goes on the side or whatnot, and then at one point he has to jump. And so he makes it. That other dude does not make it, which I mean, who called that? This guy. So he falls, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, bye. That's what you get for pod racing and for being stupid. So this guy's all like, we're gonna do the clamper on this. We're gonna do the clamper move on this guy. And so they get him up there, but Tech's too smart for this crap. Tech knows what they're doing. Tech is a smart cookie. So he gets him aligned, and then he bails out. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Yeah, he gets him they get aligned with his pod or whatnot. And then he moves right as that one grapples the thing, and then they crash, and then Tech comes through, and he wins. And they're like, yay, Tech, woo! And she's like, yeah, that's my boy, even though she doesn't say that. So they come through, and Tech's all happy. Look at Tech, he's all happy, like, hey, I'm a racer. And he's like, we came for Sid. And he's like, no, a deal's a deal, and everything. This guy's pissed. She's like, later, gay boys. and I can't remember what she says to him, but they go, and he's about to shoot, but he's like, no. He's like, hey, new crew, you three. He's like, and he's all like, you can't trust Sid. You stood up for her, but that doesn't mean she's gonna stand up for you. Watch your back. And I'm all like, of course he would say that. And plus, I wouldn't trust Sid either. She's what are those called? The Thanasarians or something like that. I can't. The Thanagarians. They're not called Thanagarians. But yeah, so they leave, and I can't remember if they say anything here, but it doesn't even matter. So that's the race, and that's the end of the episode, you guys. It ends there yeah. So like I said before, this wasn't the best episode of the Bad Batch ever, but I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, I had a good time watching it. I liked the racing. I still don't like Omega. Like I said before, I don't think anything's going to change that. Unless she becomes less annoying. And yeah, like I said before, I think that they really need to, these filler episodes really need to calm it down and get into some really good ones. Like the last episode with Crossfire was really good. This one was just, in my opinion, it was mediocre good. It wasn't like I was just like, oh my God, it wasn't a banger, in my opinion. Was not a banger. But yeah, that's my story, you guys. I don't know. Let me look real quick. You guys just chill with me for a second. Don't go anywhere, okay? I'm gonna look up what the next episode is called and do this little, I like this little prediction thing that I did, and so I'm gonna see what the next one's called. So the next one is called 5 is called Entombed. Oh, okay. Well, maybe they're going to a tomb and they're gonna get buried in it. What kind of prediction is that? What is that? That's so vague. But yeah, I'll be watching it. I mean, this thing's going all the way through March, so yeah, I'll be watching it, and we'll see what happens. Although I'll tell you right now, they've got the Bad Batch coming out, and then March 1st. That's when the Mandalorian season 3 starts up. So I'll have to do those two shows back to back. I'll do the Mandalorian first because that more people watch that than they do the Bad Batch. But yeah, my roster is going to be full in March and in February. February is when it's going to start. All right, you guys, listen, tell me, what did you guys think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Who's your favorite Bad Batch member? Is it Tech like me, or is it somebody else like Echo? Ugh. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on my next Bad Batch breakdown and review. You guys have a good day. Bye.